Hey gang, I want to make a quick video on using this website. It's called GitHub, and it's really useful. It is where the world builds software, apparently. And it used to be it still is the most prominent place for people to share open source coding. And we'll say it was fairly recently acquired by Microsoft. What does this mean? I don't know. But I still use it a lot, and I recommend you use it. I'm going to be putting a lot of code on GitHub in my GitHub repository. And you can see I just signed in. You'll have to either create an account or sign in if you already have an account. It's a really great resource, and you can follow people just like on any other kind of social media. You can see what they're up to. You can borrow their code. You can learn from them. And I'm one of those people, so you can learn from me. So I'm going to go to my repositories. And you can see I've got a whole bunch of stuff on here. I've got 312 repositories. I should really sort through here and get rid of some stuff. But I've got, for instance, this CPE bird sampler that I just made for you all. And there's our course website. And you can see this CPE bird sampler, if I go to it, has a number of things. It's got these bird sounds, and you will have heard this in class. It's got this readme.md. It's a markdown document, which you can see displayed right here. So if you want to create notations for people to see, you can put those in a readme.md document and just type those in there. And this is actually written in this language called Markdown. I'm not going to go deep into that. You don't have to get fancy in here. You can see it's also got this code.py, and if I click on this, I can see the code, and I can actually edit it since I'm me. You won't be able to edit it, but you can download it. I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. So you can see this code, and you can just see what it's doing and see if you're interested in it. And if you want to download this repository, all you have to do is go to this green button and click download zip. And it'll download a zip file. And that's the most basic thing you need to know about using GitHub for this course, is you can download stuff that I'm going to put on here. Actually, there's one other basic thing you should know, and I'm going to show you now. It's called a branch. And you see this one doesn't have any branches. But if we go to the next, if we go to another repository, and you'll be doing this quite a bit. I'm going to be putting things up with branches. So, for instance, this isn't the one that you're going to be doing, but this is a tutorial I made for some other students. And it's got a number of branches. I can navigate to those branches and see where the code is at different stages. So if I download this main branch, it'll be the finished project. But if I download something like begin here, then it'll have the code without all the stuff in it. And you can see here there's just like a little bit of code. But if we go to much farther in, it has more code. It's got all these components. And I'm going to be doing that for you. I'm going to be making these things with branches occasionally, so you can navigate to these branches. And you're welcome to play with this repo as well. You're not only limited to the stuff I put on the syllabus, but yeah. So another way to download stuff also I want to mention is we can grab this link here and we can clone it using Git. And I'm going to show you how to do that in the next video, where I'm going to also talk about creating your own repositories. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about that in this video. I'm sorry. So here I've got my repositories, because you don't need to use the command line tool git in order to make your own repositories. And I'm going to make one now in the drag and drop fashion, as I would like you all to start doing. So I'm going to make this repository. I'm just going to call it assignment 1202. And I'm going to click this button that says add README file. In the next video, when I'm using the Git command line tool, I will not click this button. But in this one, I'm going to click this button. So it's going to create that README document that I mentioned before. And I'm going to just click Create Repository. And you can see it made me this README document. I can come in here and I can edit this if I want to. And I could say, this is just a test repo. And you can see if I save this, commit changes, I'm going to commit those changes. And you can see it added that text. And you know, in that README doc, the one, this had a, what do you call those, hashtag space before this text, which is why it's all big and black. And now there's one more thing I want to show you that's pretty nifty. I can go to the root of this repo, and I can just grab this file and drop it in there. And you know what? I just made a mistake, so I'm going to cancel this. Whoops. It's a bummer when you make a mistake while you're recording a video. What I want to do is not drag the folder, but I want to drag each of these files. And what we can do is just drag all the files individually. And if I drag the folder, it's gonna create. It'll work, but it's not a good thing for me to show you. So I just wanted to do that with just the files, not the enclosing folder, because we'll use this repository as the new enclosing folder. And now if I commit those changes, you can see it'll process them. And there we go. So now I've got all these files up here, and I can download these again as a zip, and it'll be the same as the CPE bird sampler just a minute ago. So if I open that, if I unzip that file, you can see I just got all those files. That's nifty, isn't it? So it's a great place for doing this sort of thing and sharing work. And in this course, it'll be really useful for you to share your creations with your class as we move outside of the make code editor. Now in the next video, what I'm going to do is just use this command line tool named Git in the most simple way. And I'll see you there if you're interested. The command line tool, not necessary, but it really does help.